As the world stands distracted by impending war and the doomsday clock that has struck 85 seconds to midnight, there are some other noteworthy events that did not make it to the headlines. In the last days of 2025 and the early days of 2026, we've been met with more mystery, and despite extensive investigation, answers remain out of reach for the time being. Number 10. It was earlier this year that one family realized something was amiss with a beloved relative, Christopher Palmer. They'd last heard from the 39-year-old on the 9th of January, and alarm bells were starting to go off. Days earlier, the Arkansas resident had set out on a camping trip along with his German Shepherd, Zoe. Christopher, according to family members, was visiting and camping at multiple national parks. The man and his dog had been in the Washington National Forest until the 7th of January, with his next planned visit to the Monongahela National Forest in West Virginia. A few days after Christopher was last contacted, the first sign that something was wrong presented itself. On the 12th of January, rangers of the National Park Service discovered a red 2017 Ford F-250. They didn't know it yet, but this vehicle would soon be tied to a mysterious missing person case. The F-250 was stuck on the beach at Cape Hatteras National Seashore in the Outer Banks section of North Carolina. The days ticked by with no one coming to claim the vehicle, and on the 16th of January, Christopher Palmer would be declared a missing person. 2 days after that, his family would be notified that his truck was found on a beach near Buxton, allegedly heading in the opposite direction from where he intended to go. After local law enforcement began appealing to the public for tips, information soon surfaced. Investigators would learn of a witness who claimed to have found video footage of Christopher. The footage allegedly showed a kayak being transported on the back of his truck, and it was there when he arrived on the island. But when the truck was located, there was no kayak in sight. Christopher's cell phone would last ping at this same location, offering no insight into where he could have gone. It seemed as though he simply disappeared on the spot. On the 22nd of January, new information surfaced, piecing together a more detailed timeline of the missing man's movements. Following a review to traffic camera footage, investigators found that the F-250 was in Dare County, North Carolina, on the afternoon of the 9th of January, the day he last had contact with his family. Investigators could see a blue and white kayak jutting out from the back of the vehicle. Law enforcement also tracked the pings from his mobile device, which placed him near Avon on the evening of the 10th. The next day, he arrived in Cape Point and Buxton. His travel plans thereafter remain unknown, with no clues or evidence suggesting where he may have gone. On the 25th of January, the family released an unexpected update on the case. They'd recently learned that Christopher was allegedly facing a terminal illness. They didn't clarify what the illness was, but suggested that the treatments that he would have needed would have taken his independence away from him. Adding to this discovery, Christopher's belongings were found along the coastline, suggesting he may have entered the water, but didn't exit. Any information that could help investigators conclude this case can be directed to the NPS tip line at 888-653-0009. Number 9. It was Friday, the 11th of December 2025, when a strange and suspicious mystery began to unfold in South Australia. That day, at 12:19 a.m., the local resident, Trisha Graph, was at the Roxby Downs Hotel. She didn't stay there long and departed the hotel in a white 2012 Ford Territory, allegedly accompanied by a friend. While the two were making their journey from Roxby Downs to Andamuka, Trisha would accidentally collide with a kangaroo, resulting in substantial damage to the front of her vehicle. But the Ford was still drivable. After recovering from the collision, the trip continued. The friends would allegedly visit a house located in the northwestern section of the Andamuka Township. They stayed at the house for several hours, with Trisha only leaving the residence around 2 a.m. to travel back home, which is said to be just a short distance away from the house that she was at. But the 41-year-old mother of two would never arrive back home. Trisha was last seen driving along Dunstan Drive in Andamuka in the early morning hours of the 12th of December. Until midnight that day, the friend had been searching for her, only to come across a daunting sight. It was the Ford, perched haphazardly upon a dirt mound among some shrubs near the Blue Dam located on the eastern side of the township. The car's position made it unable to drive, leading to a number of unconfirmed theories. Ominously, Trisha's sandals were found with the vehicle, indicating that she may have expected to return to her vehicle. Police and state emergency services conducted a ground and aerial search of the area, believing the missing woman would be swiftly located, given the sandals, which suggested she may not have wandered far. Volunteers from the Andamoka community also came together to aid in the search. They assisted with ground searches and helped the police divers who were dragging the nearby dam. No further clues or traces of the missing mother were found. Police departments from Far North and Port Augusta have since joined the investigation, followed shortly by the Missing Persons Section and Pol Air, each of which has conducted further ground and aerial searches, expanding the search radius. A mine shaft established 1.5 kilometers away from where the vehicle was found was also searched. In the end, Trisha Graph was last seen wearing black pants and a black top, and she's believed to have been barefoot since her sandals were left behind. Any information that could help lead to her whereabouts or indicate her last movements before her disappearance should be directed to Crime Stoppers at 1-800-333-000. Number 8. Eric Throne is an unmistakable individual. He has gray hair and blue eyes and stands 5 foot 4 inches tall, weighing between 189 and 220 pounds. It's his several distinct tattoos that make him unmissable. He has a throne tattooed on his back, a cross on his hand, the name Haley on his left arm, and a Viking on his right arm. Eric has another name, Michael, as well as a partial Harley symbol. Despite all these obvious markers, though, Eric has not been seen since the 14th of December last year. It was around 3 p.m. that day when the 56-year-old was driving near East Highway 64 and South 105th Street East, or Ross Road, in Webbers Falls, Oklahoma. It isn't clear as to what his destination was, but he would never arrive there. Eric would be involved in a freak motor accident in this area and disappear right after, leaving his car behind at the scene of the collision. One witness who saw the accident happen claimed to have seen Eric walking into a nearby wooded area. It isn't known as to why he chose to head off following the accident, but he would never emerge from the forest again. He never made it back home, and he hasn't been seen or heard from since. Several days would pass before his daughter reported him missing. A file was opened with the Muskogee Police Department on the 29th of December 2025, and an immediate investigation began. Fearing that Eric may be gravely injured, thorough searches would be orchestrated, which included trying to get to a location on where the missing man's phone last pinged. Unfortunately, this effort was unsuccessful, but law enforcement was able to track down his damaged vehicle. It seemed that following the incident, it had been moved to his brother's house, located in Webbers Falls. The brother would tell investigators that the missing man may have been trying to return to the hotel that he was staying at, which was in Muskogee. The Muskogee County Sheriff's Office was informed of the ordeal and subsequently carried out its own searches and investigations. They scoured the area of South 105th East and East 193rd Street South. Despite multiple searches, though, no clues could be found, and Eric remains missing. While authorities do not believe foul play was involved in his disappearance, they haven't ruled out that possibility. They do suspect, though, that Eric may have experienced some serious trauma during the car crash and may have sustained physical injuries. The unclear timeline and uncertain direction have made it difficult for the police to track the man's movements, even with 20 agencies assisting in the case. To report information regarding this disappearance, sightings, or tips, the agency can be reached at 918-687-0202. Number 7. Silver Alert is another emergency public notification system used in the United States. It alerts the public to the urgency of locating a missing person who might be more at risk and vulnerable. It's the opposite of Amber Alerts, which focus on missing children under the age of 18. Silver Alerts bring attention to the disappearance of seniors, individuals who are above the age of 65 and may be particularly vulnerable due to their age or cognitive impairment that may come with it, such as Alzheimer's disease or dementia. It was a Silver Alert issued in the case of Petro Kuqo, whose age exceeds the male human average. The 87-year-old moved from Greece to Largo, Florida in 2025, where he lives in an apartment with his family at the Point at Clearwater, located near US 19 South. Around the time he moved to the area, Petro was diagnosed with dementia, making him particularly vulnerable and at risk if he were to lose his way. Petro's mystery began at 9 a.m. on the 12th of December 2025, when he walks out of his apartment on Oak Trail West while everyone is still asleep inside. It's unknown where he was heading or if he ever made it there. What's known is that Petro would never return home. The complex where he lives is equipped with surveillance cameras, allowing the missing man's family to watch the moment he wanders out of the parking lot in his gray pajama shirt, gray pants, and Skechers shoes. Petro cannot speak English, which adds to the risk in an already dire situation. He left home without his cell phone, identification, and wallet, which contained an AirTag that the family would use to track him. The reason why they put the tracker in there was that prior to that day, he'd never left home without his wallet. He was subsequently reported missing to the Largo Police Department, which organized several searches using various methods. Canine units were called in to assist, and they scoured the grounds hoping to pick up a scent, but they found nothing. Drones were also used in an effort to locate the missing man, but no further clues were found in the footage. The police resorted to door-to-door inquiries, asking the residents near 1845 Oak Trail West to check their doorbell cameras and surveillance systems for any sightings of Petro. It's been more than a month, and none of the residents have spotted anything on their cameras that may be crucial to solving the case. Information regarding the whereabouts or possible movements of Petro Kuqo can be directed to the Largo Police Department at 727-587-6730. Number 6. Not much is known about Logan Nicole Kayser-Sprouse. Her background has not been detailed to the media, and because her case is so recent, very little information is known about her disappearance. What is known is that on the 11th of January 2026, the 23-year-old was seen in Waynesboro, Virginia. Allegedly, she was heading to Virginia Beach, but it hasn't been revealed who found out or whether she told anyone about her plans there. Logan was seen driving off at 8:40 p.m. that evening in a black 2018 Dodge Ram 1800 with the registration number SYL 6077. She's said to be the owner of the vehicle, which appears to have an unusual white canopy attached to it, making it distinct from other Dodge Rams. Yet, despite this unique feature, the vehicle has not been seen since Logan disappeared. It's not seemingly been captured on any traffic cameras or CCTV, making it difficult to determine her movements after departing Waynesboro. As family and friends began to appeal for information on the missing loved one, they discovered that Logan may have made it to Virginia Beach after all. A witness claimed to have seen her there on the 12th of January, though this sighting remains unconfirmed. Despite searching the area, Logan and her vehicle remain unaccounted for, sparking further concern in the community. The young woman is said to have several identifying markers, including various tattoos on her body. She has a ladybug on her upper right arm, a shark on her lower arm, and a diving class number on her ribcage. The presence of the diving class number may suggest that Logan headed out for a dive, though it hasn't been specified if she took any equipment for diving along with her. Information regarding the whereabouts of Logan Kayser-Sprouse can be directed to the Waynesboro Police Department at 540-942-6675, with agency case number 2026-011-20002. Number 5. Marine dark waves sounds like something out of a sci-fi horror film, but it's a very real, eerie phenomenon that has only been identified recently. Thorough research and ongoing investigations of what's being referred to as underwater blackouts culminated in a publication in the Communications Earth and Environment Journal on the 14th of January, 2026. The article highlights a new concept that may pose a significant threat to seafloor ecosystems. What scientists are referring to when they say marine dark waves are the sudden episodes of underwater darkness that can last for days, and sometimes months, depending on the cause. Above the water, we see moments of darkness due to fog, smoke, and clouds, features that do not exist in the ocean. Yet, plunges of darkness still seem to be plaguing the depths, sending the sea floor into unexpected darkness. While observing this new discovered phenomenon, researchers witnessed how bright coastal waters have dropped into pure blackness. It's as though someone switched off the lights, or night suddenly fell. In an effort to understand exactly what strangeness is taking place here, teams of scientists have developed the first ever system specifically designed to identify and compare these marine blackouts. After having noticed the mysterious event, the researchers made use of this system to essentially draw up a database, only to discover something most unexpected. 2025 and 2026 weren't the only times that marine dark waves were recorded. According to long-term data from multiple coastal regions, these blackouts have been happening for just over 2 decades, with the earliest recorded incident listed as 2002. Researchers made use of 16 years worth of measurements from the Santa Barbara Coastal Long-Term Ecological Research Site and 10 years worth of observations from several coastal locations in New Zealand. They also analyzed the data from satellites, examining 21 years of seafloor light estimates. In the areas where the data was collected, marine dark waves varied in length, making them an unstable phenomenon. Sometimes they lasted just days, while at other times the blackout persisted for 2 months, during which several impacted the intricacy of marine ecosystems. In many of these cases, light had been completely blocked from reaching the seabed. Studies revealed that since 2002, 25 to 80 dark wave events have been recorded along the East Cape. It was found that some of these events occurred shortly after powerful storms. For years, scientists have been focusing on the slow decline in water clarity and how it could threaten these ecosystems. The findings published in 2026 revealed that these sudden blackouts may be just as damaging as poor water clarity, because many of these flourishing coral reefs and habitats rely on photosynthesis to be sustained, a process that requires light. It's not only the corals and seagrass that are affected either. Fish, marine mammals, and sharks have been observed exhibiting strange behavior during these events. The blackouts could even be the cause behind the sudden rise in deep-sea creatures coming to the surface. Monitoring these events has become a new part of oceanic research, with researchers developing systems and databases to unravel the mystery behind these occurrences and hopefully put a stop to them. Number 4. For Isabella Comas, a turquoise alert was sent out when she ominously vanished from sight. This alert specifically refers to disappearances where there is notable suspicion surrounding the entire ordeal, and this was certainly the case when it came to the disappearance of the 21-year-old. It was the 11th of January when Isabella was last seen leaving her friend's home in Avondale. She was heading out to meet up with her 37-year-old boyfriend, Tommy Rodriguez, a man who'd previously been in jail for 18 years for second-degree homicide. He allegedly fatally shot a man during a robbery when he was just 15 years old. He was still on probation in 2020 and admitted to having stalked his ex-partner, whom he threatened with a machete and a hammer, according to court documents. Allegedly, the day before Isabella was due to meet up with him, the pair had a major fight, the details of which remain unknown. It was around 3 p.m. when those who knew Isabella were alerted to the idea that something was wrong. It was her failure to show up at her friend's workplace to pick her up, as she'd done routinely, that prompted the friend to report her missing. On the 12th, the concerns grew when Isabella failed to show up for work, and she also couldn't be reached by phone. Following the discovery of the young woman's cell phone, the Arizona Department of Public Safety issued an alert notice, drawing attention to an urgent disappearance. Isabella was reportedly last seen driving in a red 2011 Hyundai Sonata with Arizona license plate 2EA6LW. On the 14th of January, the Avondale Police Department made the announcement that this very car that disappeared along with her had been located the night prior. It was found near 67th Avenue and Indian School Road in Phoenix. It hasn't been revealed if this area has any significance to the missing woman. This wasn't all the investigators found, though. Upon searching the vehicle for clues, some harrowing details emerged that only strengthened the reason behind the turquoise alert. Vital fluid stained the interior of the vehicle, and items that the police described as ones that could be used to hurt someone were found inside too. There were gas canisters, a tarp, and trash bags littering the vehicle as well. The department revealed that they believed Isabella may be seriously injured and in desperate need of medical attention. The urgency of finding her has grown by the day, but only a few leads in her case have ever surfaced. Rodriguez has since been arrested on suspicion and charged with vehicle theft and criminal damage. This comes after surveillance footage revealed that he was driving Isabella's car in Globe, Arizona, just a day after she mysteriously disappeared. Early court proceedings found Rodriguez being held on a $100,000 cash bond, with the prosecutor arguing that he had an incentive to flee. She also pointed out a history of domestic violence offenses, and allegedly he'd gone to great lengths to rid himself of any evidence that linked him to Isabella's vehicle. The prosecutor strongly believes that Rodriguez knows where the missing woman is. Information regarding this missing person can be directed to the Avondale Police at 623-333-7001. Number 3. The white dwarf RxJ 0528 plus 2838, a stellar remnant 370 light-years away, is part of a binary system. In such systems, material from a companion star usually forms a disk around the white dwarf, which then causes outflows and shockwaves. Astrophysicist Simone Scaringi notes that a shockwave occurs when fast-moving material compresses and heats surrounding gas. Standard physics require a stellar corpse, a disk, and star material for this to happen, but RxJ appears to defy these requirements. Astronomers observed a strange cloud of gas and dust emanating from the white dwarf, later confirmed by the Very Large Telescope to be a multicolored bow shock. The colors represent elements: red for hydrogen, green for nitrogen, and blue for oxygen. Crucially, further research revealed the entire system is missing the necessary disk of star material, leaving scientists perplexed as to how the shockwave could have occurred. The shockwave is unusually large, estimated to be 3,800 times the distance between the Earth and the Sun. A plausible theory suggests the white dwarf directly steals material from its companion, skipping the required disk phase. The scenario remains unconfirmed, but this is the first observation of its kind, challenging our understanding of stellar interactions and physics. Number 2. An ominous event has sent shockwaves through Mick Jagger's extended family and across an entire Cornish village community. The event was yet another disappearance this year, and this time it involved a very famous family. The member in question is Alexander Key, the partner of Mick Jagger's granddaughter, Cece Jackson. The mystery of the 37-year-old chef and father of 2 begins on a fateful afternoon on a Friday, the 23rd of January, 2026. It was around 2:20 p.m. when Alexander was last seen in Boscastle, a coastal village in Cornwall. Allegedly, he was at a pub that day, sitting alone at the Cobweb Inn. CCTV footage revealed that he just sat there quietly, engaging in no conversation for at least an hour. And then he left and hasn't been heard from since. Alexander lives in a small, quiet village, but failed to return home that day. It was most uncharacteristic of him and caused shockwaves of concern to dominate his immediate family. The evening after he was last seen, Alexander was reported missing to Devon and Cornwall police by his partner, Cece. This report prompted an immediate investigation and an urgent appeal, which culminated in coordinated searches across the surrounding areas. With the CCTV images of the missing man showing him alone and deep in thought, anxiety had gripped the McJagger family, causing them to make urgent public appeals too. As efforts intensified, law enforcement continued to scour hours of footage, hoping that Alexander would reveal his face again. Eventually, they found that very footage. CCTV images reveal the chef experiencing an unknown crisis walking past the Wellington at 3:25 p.m. on the 24th of January. The Wellington pub is on Old Road, and Alexander was said to be heading in the direction of Boscastle Harbor near the River Valency. This time, the images from the footage show the missing man wearing a blue waterproof jacket over a red shirt and black shoes. The previous CCTV footage showed he was wearing the same red shirt as in the more recent images, but had changed his pants and shoes and was now wearing a waterproof jacket. It isn't known how he came to possess the items, whether he'd taken them upon leaving his home that Friday, or whether he had purchased new ones. The behavior seems uncharacteristic of the chef, and no information has been released about what led to his deep-in-thought pub visit. There's been no mention of a conflict, a passing in the family, narcotics, mental health issues, or anything that would lead to such behavior. It's this very feature that has the family and community so concerned. The lack of warning signs, that is. Assisi's mother, Jade Jagger, a jewelry designer, has also made an urgent appeal for information through her social media pages. Should anyone have any information that can help the police close this case and bring Alexander home, they're encouraged to contact the police immediately on 999, quoting log number 847 of the 24th of January, 2026. Number 1. Did a vaporized alien planet leave behind a strange iron bar in the galaxy's most picturesque formation? This is the puzzling question that astronomers and enthusiasts have faced at the start of the new year. The picturesque formation they're referring to is Messier 57, better known as the Ring Nebula, the glowing remains of a sun-like star. The Ring Nebula hangs in the blackened void 2,000 light-years away in the constellation known as Lyra. It was discovered all the way back in 1779 and has been a point of interest ever since. The establishment of the Hubble telescope also brought new information, suggesting that something more lingered beyond the definition that the formation was merely a remnant of a star. The Hubble allowed astronomers to determine that the nebula's shape is far more complex than anyone initially thought. The blue gas at its center is football-shaped, while the red tone that pierces through it is donut-shaped. Now in January 2026, as experts continue to observe the celestial object, something new, something mysterious, has emerged from the beauty of the nebula, a discovery that may hint at Earth's future. This year, while photographing, observing, and mapping the long-studied objects with a new telescope instrument called the WHT Enhanced Area Velocity Explorer, scientists discovered a strange bar-shaped cloud that had appeared in the center of the Ring Nebula. They determined that the large cloud is composed of iron atoms, but they can't seem to figure out where it came from or why. One of several theories about the iron bar cloud is that it formed during the nebula's creation, possibly when the parent star collapsed. Others suggested that it could be space plasma, the remainder of a rocky planet that may have been destroyed and engulfed when the star expanded. If this is the case, experts warn that the iron bar formation may be Earth's distant future. The team explains that the Sun, Earth's parent star, expels its outer layers in a very similar way as the Ring Nebula, and if it were to collapse, Earth would be engulfed too, and extraterrestrials from another planet would be observing it through their advanced technology, wondering what the strange rectangular shape is. Of course, this would only happen in the next few billion years, if it were to happen at all. The astronomers haven't reached a unanimous conclusion, nor have they suggested which theory is the prevailing one, because they're still trying to unravel what exactly the iron bar is or was. They're also trying to determine where it came from, and what it could tell them about the past, present, and future of our galaxy. In the next 5 years, WEAVE, the new telescope used to detect this anomaly, will conduct up to 8 surveys to unravel the mysteries of outer space. And in doing so, the telescope may be able to observe an event similar to the creation of the Ring Nebula, allowing experts to analyze it and in turn unlock the secret of where the iron may have come from. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked this video, be sure to hit that like button. Also, don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell to keep up to date with all of our future uploads. But my name is Ty Knotts, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.